Well, Pope Leo XIV has landed in Turkey's capital, Ankara. It is his first foreign trip as pontiff. Leo started his tour with a visit to the mausoleum of Kemal Ataturk, the secularist founder of modern Turkey. He's scheduled to meet President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. The Pope will also mark the 1,700 years since Christianity's first ecumenical council, when leaders came together to find consensus on aspects of the religion. He'll then head on to Lebanon. Now, Leo's selection of two Muslim-majority countries for his first overseas trip is seen as a sign the new pontiff is prioritising dialogue between the faiths.
It's Sunday Mass here at the Cathedral of the Holy Spirit in central Istanbul. The small Catholic congregation has been preparing for Pope Leo's visit for weeks.
We're really excited to have the Pope visit our church and our community, and especially that it's his first overseas trip and to Turkey, which we know is not a Christian country.
We would be very grateful if he could help us create a better world with his words, an end to wars and a better future for our children.
Christians have an ancient history here, but now make up less than 0.5% of Turkey's population. The vast majority are Muslim. Bishop Massimiliano Palinuro hopes that the Pope's visit will bring more visibility and acceptance.
We feel always very fragile. The Turkish government is keeping the rights of minorities, defending the Christians, but the daily life of Christians, because of many prejudices among the population, can put the Christians in a difficult condition.
But Pope Leo is also making a special stop-off here, in the small Turkish town of Iznik, also known as Nicaea. It's a pivotal site in Christian history. This is where bishops from across the Christian world met 1,700 years ago and drew up the Nicene Creed, a statement of faith. Even today, it's recited by millions of Christians of different denominations around the globe every Sunday. Leo will commemorate the anniversary with Patriarch Bartholomew, the spiritual leader of Orthodox Christians. Turkey's position as a place where East and West, where Islam and Christianity meet, will also be reflected in a political dimension to Pope Leo's visit, when he'll meet Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Erdogan has taken on the role of a mediator in wars and conflicts, most recently helping to broker a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Kenan Gürsoy expects a joint appeal for peace from Erdogan and Pope Leo. He was Turkey's ambassador to the Vatican from 2009 until 2014, so he knows how the two states work together.
Especially in the context of the Middle East and the deaths of so many thousands of people, children and women, being attacked and slaughtered. I think they will give this message of peace jointly.
Pope Leo will also celebrate a Catholic Mass at an event venue here in Istanbul, a first for a pope in Turkey. And he'll visit the Sultan Ahmet Mosque, also known as the Blue Mosque, built in the early 17th century as a sign of Ottoman power and Muslim superiority. Pope Leo's predecessors, Francis and Benedict, did the same, as a gesture of Christian-Muslim dialogue.
The Vatican has used these images from time to time to show that there is peace between religions, or that there is some kind of relationship and dialogue between religions. I am very confident because I am sure that Leo will act in the same way in his relations with Muslims, respecting their culture, civilization and morals.
Turkey's Christians are also hoping the papal visit will generate greater mutual respect and tolerance, while joining the rest of the world in watching for signs of political messaging over regional conflicts.
That report by DW Turkey correspondent Hahn, who joins me now from Istanbul. Hi, Julia. Pope Leo's decision to make Turkey his first foreign destination. Do people in Turkey see that as a choice of some significance?
Well, the Christians we spoke to here are excited, proud and full of hope, I'd say, because for them, of course, this is a rare opportunity to see the new Pope in person. The last pontiff to visit Turkey was Leo's predecessor, Francis, back in 2014. Leo's schedule here is packed. He's going to visit several churches in Istanbul of different denominations in the next days. Among the larger Turkish population, which is predominantly Muslim, I think people are only now learning about the visit from the news. Major Turkish news channels have covered Leo's arrival in the capital, Ankara, live. Some people may have mixed feelings, but I do think many appreciate the fact that he chose Turkey as his first foreign destination. Leo is Pope number 5 to visit Turkey since the 1960s, and I think that reflects the importance the Vatican attaches to Turkey as a bridge between West and East, between Christianity and Islam, but also between Catholicism and Orthodox Christianity. And in that sense, of course, the Pope's visit here shines a big international spotlight on Turkey.
We heard in your report that Christians do only make up a tiny fraction of the Turkish population. Do they feel an accepted and valued minority?
Well, the Turkish constitution protects and guarantees religious freedom in a secular republic. So you have churches of different denominations here with their congregations. But of course, Christians here in Turkey have a very difficult and painful past, especially when you look at the time when the Ottoman Empire crumbled and modern Turkey emerged, full of forced exile, violence, discrimination. And despite some progress in recent years when it comes to restoring the rights of Christians here, many still struggle with inequality and a sense of exclusion. Some also say they see a shift towards more conservative nationalism under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his Islamic-rooted AKP. So I think in that sense, hopes are high that the Pope's visit here will contribute to Muslim-Christian dialogue, that it will send a strong message of mutual tolerance and acceptance. And I think the fact that the Pope can hold a Catholic Mass at a big event venue here in Istanbul on Saturday, it is a sign in that direction.
And what about the political messages, Julia? What do you expect to hear from both Pope Leo and President Erdogan?
Well, these papal visits, they always have, of course, the religious dimension, and but then it's also an opportunity for the Pope, for the Vatican, to conduct international diplomacy. This trip, you know, it comes at a crucial moment in negotiations over how to end Russia's war in Ukraine, but also how to keep a fragile ceasefire in Gaza. So many journalists, they will be watching for messages from the Pope when he is meeting with Turkish President Erdogan. Today, Erdogan is a devout Muslim. He's most certainly going to make Gaza a topic. You know, he is one of the fiercest critics of the Israeli government, of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and an outspoken supporter of the Palestinian cause. But then the Vatican, too, has shown strong support for the Palestinians during Israel's war, first under Francis, now under Leo. And I think that is why many people are now waiting and expecting the two of them to address tensions here in the wider region.
DW Turkey correspondent Julia Hahn, thank you.